Good morning and welcome to July in Sri Lanka. If you recall, last time I checked in, it was April, meaning May and June have passed. Well, I had May and June all recorded and ready to go to share, and then the audio was cut from the video. So the video had no audio of gameplay or me speaking. So I decided I will just do a quick recap of everything that happened in May and June that brought us to this point. So let me take you back. So first thing when I woke up in May, of course we went and tended to the chickens, got them topped off with food, and that was it for the farm. We really had nothing left to do at our place as far as work goes. The fields are already prepped, everything's ready to go. Really, we just had to wait around until June for the harvest to come in. So I went to the shop to check in on contracts. There wasn't really anything available. So I went and spoke with Walter. He told me he needed some weeding done down at his fields. So we took his equipment and went down to one of his fields and did some weeding. He had a very large weeder, so that was nice. And we knocked that out real quick, and it was an easy around 5,500, I believe. So that was good. Got that taken care of. Headed back home, and that's when I checked the weather and noticed we had some hail that was scheduled to come in. So before the hail came in, I decided to go get the harvester prepared for June. I ran that over to the shop, and they did some maintenance on the header and the combine itself. So they sharpened up the blades on the header and did some oil change on the combine, got everything ready to go to make sure we were going to have no problems during harvest time in June. So I took the combine back to the house, and that was just before the hail was starting to roll in. So we got everything tucked under the shed. I squeezed the truck in as well as best as I could. Everything was tucked in there, and we went and sat on the front porch and waited for the storm to roll in. So it came. It was a good little storm. Hail came down, and there was hail on our property, but it wasn't that big of hail size, which was nice. Went out and checked the fields. We had no hail damage to our fields, so that was good. There were some fields north of us that had some damage, but ours were not impacted, so that was great to hear. And at that point, it was getting pretty late. We had nothing left to do, so I just decided to call it a day and went in and went to bed, excited for June. June rolled around, woke up bright and early, and got out to the fields by 6:30ish, and got in the combine and just started going right away. The difference between this time and last time we harvested is I had the swath path turned on, so we had straw to pick up. So we got both fields harvested, unloaded all of it into our silo, and at the end we had, I believe, 35,000 liters of barley. So that was great. And unloaded all that, got that in the silo. That was it. We are not selling it yet because it was not at peak price, but it was good. Then we went and we rented a forage wagon that allowed us to pick up all the straw. And because we could only rent the forage wagon, we had to sell it right away. We couldn't hold on to the straw to get peak pricing out of that. So we went down to the bio heating plant, which we're familiar with from selling the logs, sold off all the straw on both fields, and we made just over 10 grand on that alone. After that, we came back. We were calling it a day, went inside to go have ourselves a good meal, and that's when I got a text from Katie. Katie was in the middle of a harvest and had her combine break down, and she said she was going to have a late night but needed one field mowed down so she could get it baled up the next day. So we went out there and mowed for her. We never actually spoke with her. She just gave us the keys, went and grabbed her stuff. She left them out at the house, I should say. Went and grabbed her stuff and headed to her field, got it mowed. Came back, she had left us money, and that wrapped up our June. We got everything harvested, fields were good, chickens were good, we got a great harvest, made quite a bit of money, and it was all ours. And that brings us back to now. We are now here in early morning July, and fields that need tending to. So these are our harvested fields. We are definitely going to need to get these things cultivated soon. I guess does need soon, but in order to get our timeline figured out, first we need to take a look at what we're going to plant next. So, looking in here, it is July, and August, obviously, is next month. And in August, there's not a lot of grains we can do. We could do canola. I just don't know if canola is the best move because we're not going to get the straw out of it. We'll make a little bit off of it, but I would rather have something that we can get the straw. We might. So looking in this menu, we have a couple options. We have canola, which is ready to go in August, and we have wheat, which is ready to plant in September. Both of the canola harvest season is July, so it'd be about a year, and the wheat harvest season is also July. So either way, we're getting a full year out of it. We can't wait until September to do barley because we want to rotate the crop fields. But this might be our last year of growing grains before we hopefully get into sugar beets or sugar cane. So we just need to maximize our profit. We'll look at the prices of canola, I suppose, and the prices of wheat, see what's going to pay better, if we want to do both fields or one of each. Because they're so close to their growing stages, we could just knock everything out at once on either one that we do. So yeah, that's where we're at. I guess let's just take a quick peek at the prices. So this is where we currently sit with barley. Just while I'm at this menu, we have almost 35,000, and it's gonna be at its lowest point in August. So we're definitely gonna wait until wintertime to sell all this stuff. But canola looks to peak at 2,100. That's an awful lot. Good. And wheat peaks at 1,100. Okay. Well, we will need something to feed the chickens, and yes, we'll have plenty left over of barley. But that is a hefty jump in price. I guess I just want to make sure that we're able to handle that, and we'll have all the equipment we need for that. So something to keep in mind, but that's not super important right now. What's important is we can at least get our fields cultivated, and that'll be the first step that we have. So yeah, we're gonna hop in the John Deere and get the cultivator going, and we're gonna get both of our fields cultivated. All right, we got this brought over here, lined up and ready to go. So we're just gonna get started. Perfect. So this is getting all tilled up and cultivated. It's gonna take a little bit, but we'll get this stocked out, and then we'll kind of plan out where we're gonna go from here. This is gonna have to be my last pass here. The rain is just becoming too much to handle. It was going okay at first. Now the ground wasn't that wet. Now I'm just starting to sink in. So unfortunately, we're gonna have to wait this out a little bit and wait for this rain to pass. So out here, let's check the weather. Okay, weather says this is gonna clear up at about 10 o'clock. We're almost there. So, hour and a half of chilling. And I guess we'll just wait. Okay, 9:50, 10 till 10. So, rain cleared up, but the ground has to get just a little bit drier. So I'm gonna pop over here, see if there's any good deals, anything like that that we need to know about. And this is what they got on their used vehicle deal. Not really anything that I need. The sprayer would be nice, but we have the weeder. So as long as our weeds don't get too big, we should be okay. Yeah, nothing else that we need here. So, all right. We'll head back and see how dry we're getting and try to get back going. And I just have one little spot I missed here. But that is it for this field. So this one's all prepped. Well, it's not prepped, I should say. Not even close to being all prepped. But the cultivating's done. Now we're gonna hit this second field. It's a process, but it's what has to be done. So well, I'm gonna hold off on this for a second. I'm gonna hold off. There's a chance that weeds are still gonna grow in this cultivated area over here. Nothing's planted or anything. It makes sense. And if weeds are gonna grow, that means I'm not gonna be able to use the small weeder on them. And so I don't know if we necessarily need to get this cultivated today, because I don't want the weeds to grow. And it kind of depends on what I'm going to plant, so I just really need to decide that before anything. So after some thinking, I decided all wheat is going to be better, because come wintertime, when we get all of the barley sold, I think I'm going to be able to afford a cow barn. So that means I'm going to need to have some straw on standby to mix into their feed, and wheat's going to produce that straw for us. And canola does not, unfortunately, produce straw. So yeah, we're going to do all wheat, and at the end of the day, that's just the product that we're going to need. Well, I had this over here because of that rain. I know it got pretty dirty. I'm just going to touch it up real quick and make sure this is all cleaned up and ready to go. Yeah, this thing got absolutely filthy out there, out in the field after the rain, during the rain. So, get it all cleaned up. And because we're doing the wheat, I'm not going to cultivate that other field today. Just because of the weed thing, I don't want weeds to be growing in it. And, yeah, we only got the small weeders, so we're going to only be able to pick the small weeds. And if we get it cultivated today, in 2 months when we're ready to plant, there's going to be at least medium-sized weeds in there. So I kind of jumped the gun on the first field we did as well, but it's alright. Both of those are clean. We can put this back. And then we'll figure out what to do with the rest of our month here in July. Okay, we got all that stuff put back, and I just want to take a peek over here. I think our baby chicks have all grown up. Yeah, if we look in here, oh, they're at 7 months. Oh yeah. So yeah, they're all grown up. Wow. Okay. So now we have every chicken in there besides the rooster is producing eggs. So that's great. That's really great. Okay. So not a lot, only 4 extra chickens, but every little bit helps. So that's good. So I'm going to run over to the shop, see, I'm hoping there's a pretty decent harvest contract again, and we can get one good harvest in, and then hopefully we'll be able to use that and get ourselves the greenhouse we've been talking about for so long. Okay, it was Katie that came through once again, and she needs peas harvested. I've never harvested peas before, and I've never used one of these bad boys, but let's just hop in and see what we can do. Okay, very nice. Not too different than what we're used to, so I think it's pretty much going to function the same as the regular combine harvesters we use, but alright, let's get this taken over to her field and start harvesting on some of these peas. Make a little extra cash and maybe have a little bit left over for us to sell on our own. And that'll get us right about to what we need to get going on our greenhouse. Okay, here we are approaching the field. And let's see if we can get this thing fired up and start it the right way. Okay, looks like we got it turned on, so let's get going. Oh man, this is very narrow. A really small header that we have here. So, oh boy, this might be an all-day adventure, unfortunately. If it wasn't Katie, I'd consider backing out, but it's Katie. We're already here. Let's just get it knocked out. We need the money anyways. We don't need it because we have it. It's just all tied up in grains right now that I don't plan on selling yet, so it's okay. We'll get it knocked out. And after one pass, one headland, I should say, we are almost 100% full. So, I am going to have to go get the tractor and trailer to unload this into. So I will be right back. Okay, we got the tractor pulled up here, just squeezing in here to get this first load unloaded in the trailer. Let's see how fast it fills up. Okay, that's good. Because we only had just over 3,000 liters in the thing. So I'm just trying to figure out how many trips this is gonna be. This is gonna be a lot of back and forth. That's all right. We'll just park that here for now. Keep that ready to go. Hop back in here. Get that back in. And get back to it. Okay, just finished up that second headland. Gonna unload this. And then Katie actually called me while I was doing that second headland and told me she's wrapped up for the day on her things. So she's gonna come and drive the combine, and I am going to use the tractor and be able to be the person that goes and drops it off at the sell point for her, so that way she doesn't have to keep getting out and going back and forth and wasting time. And so we're not going to make as much from this as I was hoping, but it's all good. We're still going to get paid some, and all we're doing really is driving the tractor back and forth. It's just a lot of hours that we got to put in because this field's going to take a little while. So I'm going to just keep going until she gets here, and then we'll wait for her to take over. Okay, so we were able to get 2 more headlands done while waiting on Katie, but she's currently in the pea harvester. We're sitting at 75% full on this trailer, so I'm gonna go run and dump this first load and hurry up and get back and see how close she is to needing to unload her harvester. And that's just kind of what we're doing for the rest of our day, is we're gonna be her sidekick and unload when she needs. So it looks like we're selling at the farmer's market. Gonna unload these in here. And boy, this is taking a little bit. There it goes. So back and forth. That's what we're doing. And here we are making it back, and the beacons are rolling, letting me know that Katie's 80% full, so we need to pull up on next to her. There we go. I was just going a little too slow. Okay, now we just kind of sit over here and wait. Gotta wait for her to get full again, and then we just keep driving over there, driving next, and unloading. So, moving along at a decent rate, I suppose. I think I'm just gonna move a tad bit closer. I'm gonna try to stay off the peas that haven't been harvested. And since we're here, we're just gonna get it unloaded again. Perfect. So yeah, there's Katie and I. Alright, thank you. And once again, just chill until we're needed. Alright, Katie just finished up the field, so we just got a little bit left to, hopefully we can squeeze in the rest of what remains. We contemplated it, but yeah, hopefully we don't have to come all the way back here just for a little bit, but fortunately we might, so it's gonna be real close. Man. So yeah, unfortunately, we are capacity on the trailer, and there's still a little bit left inside the harvester. So I'm gonna go take this, get this dumped, and then come back, grab the rest, and dump that, and we will see if there was any surplus. Katie said it's only like 750 liters left in the harvester. They're mine if I want them. I might take them, and yeah, it's not going to be a ton of money, but we can probably still get a little bit down at the farmer's market, enough to buy a nice dinner. Okay, we got that very teeny tiny amount that remained, but it's worth it because on the surplus alone, without collecting any money from Katie for the actual work, we made 7 grand. So that is a hefty chunk of change for the extra. And so this is just going to add to that. See what our grand total is. Here we are dropping off the last little bit. Let's see what the grand total is going to be. Okay. That was well worth an additional 2,400 just for that 700 liters. Peas are hot this time of year, I suppose. So I'm going to get this drop back off to Katie and let her know what her total was, and yeah, hopefully collect a little bit of payment from her still, and then big plans. Just about time for that greenhouse. So from there we made about 4,600. She did take off a little bit for I hit that sign, so she took off a little bit for that. I apologized profusely. She said she didn't care. She didn't really take it off. I gave it to her to help pay for damages and get the sign put back up, but she wasn't too worried about it. So yeah, lost a little bit there, but no worries. So with that being said, sitting at $32,000, I think it's time for us to go to the shop and see if we can contract out some work to get a greenhouse put in this area. So this is the GPS they have set up at the shop, and this is kind of our options for greenhouses. $18,000 for this guy here. Produces pretty well, but in order to maximize efficiency, they also have this $36,000 option. Now, currently, we do not have enough money for it. The benefits is that it produces significantly faster. As far as the crops, the fruits that it would make, produces significantly faster. It does require a little bit more water, but that's fine. We'll have a water tank. With the prices of the vegetables and stuff right now, having more, we would be making money quite frequently. I almost think it's worth to get this one, but we'll see. So I'm gonna head back home and check on anything that we could possibly sell and see if we can get to that $36,000 point. I'm not sure how close we'll get, but we'll find out. So I'm looking at the prices for eggs, and they're actually not as low as they could be. They would have peaked in June, but where we're sitting at right now, we have quite a few. I don't want them to go bad. I think I'm going to sell these guys now and then see where we're sitting at financially wise. So yeah, let's do that. We'll hop in the John Deere. Well, let me get the truck ready to go. We'll have to get the bed put down on the truck. Okay, we got that unfolded. Let's get in here. Snatch up these eggs. The other thing I do have to keep in mind is we will be needing a water tank in order to fill up the greenhouse, and just make sure we get this. Don't want to be damaging any of the eggs. We've been waiting on these guys for a long time. Perfect. Got them scooped up. And we'll get these loaded into the truck bed. We definitely are going to need some sort of new trailer soon. The eggs won't be bad, but if we get this large greenhouse going and if we're producing fast enough... Oh, almost lost the eggs there. If we're producing fast enough, we'll hopefully be selling these every month. That would be nice. Okay. This is a little more difficult than I thought it was going to be. Okay, we got those pushed in all the way. And there we go. Okay. So let's run those to the supermarket and see what kind of money we get after I put this guy away, of course. Okay, we sold those. Only got 2,500. That really stinks, but it's all good. It happens. We have enough wheat and well, wheat. We do have a little bit of wheat. We don't have enough wheat. We have plenty of barley. We can sell that at a later date, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. What I think might be best is, because of all the product I have on standby as collateral, I think I'm just going to take out a small loan and we're going to get that big greenhouse and then make sure we get a water tank that'll work with it, and then we should be good to go there. Again, just a small loan, nothing like last time, and it's not going to be as much of a grind to pay it off as that first large one we had. Alright, so I gave the bank a call. They pre-approved me, but we only need 10 grand. They pre-approved me for a bit more than that. I'm not going to get into that snowball. So we're just going to take out the 10. And, yeah, so now run into the store. We'll probably take the Challenger over there because we will need to get the water tank. And then we're going to talk to them and see what work they can do as far as installing that greenhouse for us. Here we are at the store. Gonna look at the barrels, the transport barrels. There we go. Not a lot of capacity in the small one here, but we really don't need anything bigger. And eventually we'll have to upgrade to one of these other ones when we finally get our milk getting produced. But in the meantime, I'm just gonna stick with the small one since it's pretty much only for the greenhouse that we're putting in. So let's get this. And that is good. Perfect. That's right over there. Awesome. Guess the Challenger might be a little overkill. The John Deere probably would have been just fine. Now I'm going to talk to him about seeing what work needs to be done in order for us to get a greenhouse installed over there. Alrighty, just got done speaking with their team. They're sending people over now to get that assembled. So in the meantime, I'm going to take this and go fill it up. Walter mentioned he had a little spot I might be able to, so I'm going to talk with him real quick and see where that's at, see where I can go fill this up at without having to pay the prices for water in town. Alright, appreciate it, Walter. Okay, he owns 2 fields to the east. So 46 is ours, 47, I don't know whose it is, but he owns the plot next to it. It's empty, no land on it. But he does have a pond there. He said we could just swing by and fill it up from this. So that's what we intend to do. Only the north side is his. The south side he does not own, so I'm not going to use anything out of there. But we will just back in here. And I think we can siphon some out of the here if I back up. Perfect. There we go. So this thing is going to take a couple trips. It's just over 2,000 liters, so and head back and see if we got anything to put this in. And there it is. That is the greenhouse. They got it all installed for us. They did quite a bit of terraforming out here, so that's great. This will make it easier moving forward. This is fantastic. So we'll just load this up in that blue bin there and fill this up. I want to check the capacity on it because we are going to be making a few trips. I know that. Let's see what we're working with. So, okay, come in here. Nice. Let's check out what we got. So it holds 40,000 liters. Okay. So we have quite a few trips that we're going to make, and gonna do that. But let's see what we got here. So we can grow some chili peppers, and I believe we can scroll down. So 8, 6 lettuce. Strawberries, tomatoes. Strawberries come out pretty good. I could hold 28,000 liters for any of it. Let's check the prices on these goods. So looking at some of the prices, for example, peppers, they peak at around 1,400. Do we have anything else in here? We should. Fruit types, that's just what's grown. Okay, so now we're getting into some more. So we have garlic here. Garlic peaks around 1,400 as well. Lettuce. Lettuce is peaking at 3,300. I think that's going to be a no-brainer for us then. Yeah, we'll just start growing lettuce. Since we're not really worried about none of this other stuff we need, we're purely using this for money. So, good. It looks like it's growing. Got that all planted and set up and ready to go. And for the time being, I'm just gonna keep doing circles and try to get this greenhouse all filled up so we don't have to worry about it for a little while. So just a few things to touch on. First of all, I love the terraforming that they did here. They just kind of flatten out the area, which will make it nice for when we go to add in other productions like the sugar mill we're going to eventually need for the chocolate and whatnot. And also, I severely underestimated how much water this large greenhouse takes. It's free water, so that part's good. It's just a lot of gas going back and forth, back and forth. It is what it is. Doing some calculations with the lettuce, it looks like, depending on the right time of the season and everything, but we'd be looking at roughly 5,000 a month coming in from the lettuce, and that is a great thing to have. It adds us another chore. I'm sure we're gonna have to be topping off the water like we do the chickens, but it adds us a good source of income. 2 months the loan is paid off, and then after that it's just all pure profit. Don't have to focus so much on doing contracts. But yeah, it's good to have that problem. It is just starting to get a little too dark to continue doing this. I have been at it for quite some time. After this load, I'll check and see. Should have over 25,000 liters in here, and it holds 40,000. Doesn't mean it needs to be stocked at 40,000. I just figured the more we got in now, the less we'd have to top off moving forward. But we can actually probably just leave this here, and let's check and see how many liters we have inside of here. So we're sitting at 28,000. That should be okay. Yeah, that should be fine to get us through. And once that starts populating, we can either hang on to it for just a little bit and find a peak price to sell, or we can head out to the farmer's market and sell what we have on hand. But either way, that'll be some good income coming in addition to the grains that we've been harvesting, and the eggs. Cannot forget the eggs. Chickens are working hard. Working too hard to be forgotten, but they got enough food to get them through the night. But I'll definitely have to feed them tomorrow, get the water topped off tomorrow, and then we got some work to do on those fields to get ready for August. But yeah, it's been a long day and lots going on. But now it's time for bed. So I'm Original Farming, and I'll see you on the next one.